What am I hearing? Are you making something?
Always. Industry never stops, babe.
Matt's 3D printer is literally on the other side of this wall.
It's just a way for you to know that I'm thinking of you.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with you, though. It's my own shit.
Out for the...
OMG. Here we are. Do I look more like John Travolta or Nicolas Cage?
I'm sorry, with a new face, we all of a sudden don't start with, hey, everybody, welcome to...
Okay, let's go.
Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Mostly Harmless with Matt and Sarah. I'm Matt. That one you may not recognize is Sarah, not Jan Travolta or Nicolas Cage.
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, what did John Travolta... It's Sandy. Oh, Grease.
Grease lightning.
I'm in love with my car. This isn't problematic at all. Hope nobody likes fucking Grease because we just tore it apart in 30 seconds.
Actually, I think Grease was my parents' first date. I'll have to double check that, but...
Well, that sounds...
they saw it in the movie theater. So basically what you're saying is you hate my parents.
I believe you can extrapolate however you would like.
That's kind of math I'm mathing over here.
Put that in a box and mail it wherever the fuck you want.
So I do apologize in advance, you guys.
Paul in Adva. I know.
Yeah, I am healing wonderfully from my neck lift.
Brag
but...
much.
No, but I do not be alarmed if you catch a glimpse of what is like atrocious rashing, blistering on my neck region.
See, after Sarah got a neck lift, her throat was slit really quickly.
That's what it looks like. It's slit by poison ivy or something.
Well, let's start it back and find our request for today's episode while you amble for a moment while I find it.
So I was covering, so I had that surgical dressing. And I'll post a picture here of what I look like right after my surgery. So I'm all dolled up, all bandaged up. And from that, because of, I don't know, the way I was situated, I got a huge blister under my chin, which I guess, I don't know how normal or common it is, but they weren't like, oh my God, that's disgusting. They were like, oh yeah, you have one of these blisters. So anyways, I had been bandaging myself, as you will have seen in my Reality Squad videos. And then I just started getting gnarly reactions to the adhesions. It just was doing more harm than good. So now I'm just letting everything air out. I'm just washing with warm soapy water, bacitracin, probably pronouncing it wrong.
No, you got it.
Oh, yeah, I got it. I'm going.
She has been pronouncing bacitracin.
Yeah.
Differently.
Hashtag not Neosporin, because apparently hashtag Neosporin is hashtag not good for what I need.
Just stop. Just stop.
Anyways, you know what I won't do?
What? Live forever?
Exactly.
So that brings us to our listener request for this week from Jenny T. Jenny T. Hi, Matt and Sarah. First, thanks for your podcast. You're welcome. I'm a fan. I hope this is how to reach you with a podcast idea I couldn't quite figure out. Yes, it is. Absolutely how to reach us.
Was this the first listener request that we got?
No, we've gotten.
No,
this will be like
the OG that like we've tabled for so long.
No, we've done them in order. We've got these. We've had these 4 that we're still working on in orbit for a while.
All right.
No, we have to do the sexiest man in Winnipeg.
Yes,
that's what you're thinking about.
The sexiest man in Winnipeg.
I have the VPN ready to go. I'm gonna be watching
However, I will say, Jenny T, I was like interested in this, but I got sucked in, and our daughter actually, I don't know, paternity's been established.
I believe it's
But
my
yeah.
daughter. It is mine.
We took her to a birthday party. It was like a painting birthday party. It was so cute. Anyways, it was for a bunch of 5 and 6 year olds, and I was just chit chatting with all the parents about Don't Die.
If you haven't watched the documentary Don't Die, The Man Who Wants to Live Forever, you should. It has all the things: religious trauma, LDS, money, weight and exercise issues, addiction, narcissism, and lots of head-scratching crazy. And the dude's got followers. Regardless of whether you turned into a podcast, I thought you'd enjoy. Peace, Jenny T. Jenny T, I did enjoy quite a bit.
All right, so Don't Die. The Man That Wants to Live Forever. Who knew Venmo would be a supporting character in this? But this guy, Bryan Johnson, who I maintain, let's put up the before picture of him here. I think he looks better than he does now.
Right here?
Insert after picture. I mean, sure, he is jacked to the max.
He's cut. But it's like not everybody first, I don't necessarily think they call them lunks. I don't think people who are lunks. It's a term coined by Planet Fitness that made fun of
like
gym
a lunk
dudes.
head?
No, like gym dudes, like, oh, bro, you ain't ready for it now. Like that's a lunk.
Gotcha.
And they say no lunks at Planet Fitness, and it's like, does that mean you don't want me to get ripped? Isn't that against your? It's counterproductive.
Well, I just I'm good for you for going on a health trend, and trust me, you guys, I've gotten plenty of comments saying you're too skinny now and blah blah blah, and so
stop.
There's an opinion. Everyone's gonna have an opinion. Everyone's welcome to their opinion, but I genuinely think that Bryan Johnson, I think he looked good before. Good for him for wanting to go on a health journey.
He looked fine before. He looks whatever now.
Yeah, but wow, this guy clearly is an addict, in my opinion. And because you really can be addicted to anything. Mm-hmm. And this guy is not living life. And we've seen several people in his life comment about that throughout the documentary, is that his obsession with anti-aging, aging slowly, not dying, living forever, it's all consuming, and he's not actually living his life. And he has kids. His marriage crumbled. He's no longer really part of his faith, which he was.
It feels to me mostly like nerd married somebody, had kids, made it big, made a bunch of money, shed his first wife he said he had a couple dates with, and it's this girl who's like really attractive. I think they showed a picture of some girl he's with, and it's just like, go figure. Nerd hits it rich and then tries to go with some, you're batting above your weight class there a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because we see one of his kids in the doc, but his other kids don't want to have anything to do with him.
So
that's
did you
really
explain
sad.
the overall?
Okay, so
of
the
him?
gist. Don't Die, The Man Who Wants to Live Forever is a Netflix documentary. It follows tech entrepreneur Bryan Johnson's obsessive quest to defy aging and extend his lifespan. The film offers intimate access to Johnson's daily routines, extreme health regimens, and medical procedures, including controversial practices such as plasma exchange with his son and father, organ transplant medications, and gene replacement therapies performed outside of the United States. Bryan Johnson starts off, he founded this company Braintree, which later acquired Venmo and then was later sold to PayPal. So
$800 million.
A shit ton of money. So he has the kind of fuck you money to spend all day, every day thinking about how to be the healthiest version of himself.
Yeah.
Most people are like, I gotta do carpool. So
I don't know. It's just, that's what he says he's doing. But everything he's doing speaks to the contrary. And it started right at the beginning of the documentary, right after we go through his nonsense about who he was, what he wants to do, and how he's going to get there. He's like, yep, and I do all these as my vitamins. I take like 700,000 fucking pills a day and all these things and supplements and blah, 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 blah.
Oh,
and
actually, hold on, let me interject on that because I have a note here. Johnson's regimen includes over 60 tailored supplements with a morning routine that can involve up to 91 pills.
91 pills. So he does that. Mm-hmm. And does all this stuff, and that's okay, right? So you're finding your way to keep your life going because you just want to live forever, right? No vanity, no nothing. It's all about health. Until
the hair plug,
we see him fucking working on a hair helmet to grow his hair back. Well, that immediately pushed you back into the vanity thing.
Yeah.
Because if I just wanted to live forever and it cost me my hair, so be it. I want to live forever. That is, the hair has no weight on this. How I look has no weight on the living forever, which is what this guy's sole purpose, he says, is to live forever.
Right.
That's all he wants, except for the hair was the tip of the iceberg of the fraud that I'm calling him. He is scamming people just like everybody else.
Yeah, all of a sudden we take a hard left into this dude is starting a cult.
What's the stupid blueberry or what's the stupid health blueprints?
Yes. Blueberry is the pediatric.
I like blueberry pediatrics.
Pediatric app.
Blueprint is this company that basically found him. That's what he says. I do not believe a word this guy says. This guy is a fucking narcissist and a liar. He's like, no, we're doing this. And if we get all this stuff, we'll make it, the more we do it, the easier it'll be for other people to do it. And I'll be the guinea pig. It's like, okay, cool. Sure. All that stuff tracks, except for the part where your blueberry people, this random company that is trying to get this stuff. Oh, we're just trying to go along with him to make sure that it all works along. We have our way, like all of our stuff, here's our framework that we designed. And then what's crazy is all the attention that he has brought to our site because he lets us put his colorectal exams on there. He lets us put all of his medical information on there, every video we take. And then it's crazy because all the stuff that we sell on our website is now selling out. Every supplement that he uses is selling out because he's the man who's living forever.
No.
The metrics with which he uses to say that his life is going to be extended are provided to him by Blueprint. They said, your body, a normal body, ages at X. Well, because of the way your body's doing it, you are aging at Y. Only given to you the information from the company that is making significant amounts of money off of the stuff that you're doing. And you are probably a huge investor in that company.
Oh, yeah. He invested, $100 million into companies at the forefront of synthetic biology, genomics, and artificial intelligence. His focus, blah 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 blah. Anyways, his whole thing is the science of longevity and biohacking. That's his whole thing, and he's using himself as a guinea pig, and then the sad thing is he's roped in his dad and his son, and we see them go on a father-son 3-generational trip to do a plasma transfusion.
Yeah, just upcycling your blood. What's funny is, here's a thought, ladies and gentlemen out there in TV land. If you are altruistically trying to extend the human lifespan, because he says it's not just for him. He wants to pave the way for others to live forever. He says age is not a real thing. We can get around it. If you are altruistically trying to do this, and he says he wants to do so much and make it so popular that it becomes cost effective for other people to do it, would you be selling $60 bottles of olive oil
Right.
He's selling his own olive oil.
Right.
$60 fucking for a wine bottle's worth of olive oil, whatever that measurement is.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound very I want to live forever. Doesn't sound very altruistic to me. Sounds like you're profiting off of something. Sounds like you've created an extreme buzz because of the radical efforts that you are taking with which to extend your life, whether that's the case or not. That, like, whether what you're actually doing and what you're saying are the same thing, which it doesn't seem to be. You're doing all this stuff, but it also seems like you're trying to make some money off of it, which he has not outwardly said, oh yeah, and of course if we profit on it, that'd be fantastic, which is what a lot of companies will say when they really enjoy their profits.
Right.
No. He's very altruistic. Money doesn't mean anything to him. Of course money doesn't mean anything to him. He got a shit ton of money. But
money doesn't. He's lucky enough that money doesn't have to mean anything
even
to him.
Rachel Ray's EVOO is not $60 fucking a bottle.
Olive oil is expensive. Get it at Trader Joe's. # not sponsored. But yeah, it's not. You can get it for less than $60 a bottle.
So I call bullshit. Just got to put a bullshit graphic up right there. I call bullshit.
Watch me not. Just
right there.
I sit here and I feel a little bit of like, don't judge me, because I'm sitting here. I take Zepbound. I'm not currently taking Zepbound because I'm going to be having another surgical procedure in August. I'll talk about that more later. But anyways, I feel a little bit fraudish to sit here in judgment of Bryan because I myself, have embarked on a health journey that has included cosmetic procedures. I do not want to live forever. I have stated numerous times that if the zombie apocalypse were to ever happen, I hope to God he would take pity on me and just rapture me right then and there. But I do want to look and feel my best while I'm here.
The difference in what you're doing versus what he's doing is you have given no preconceived notions as to like the altruism of what you're doing. You're not like, oh, I'm doing this for the world. You're doing it for yourself. Myself. And that's first of all who you should be doing it for.
Yeah.
But the Zepbound, you talk about that, isolate that for a second. We can all agree that being healthier, like weighing less, which is what Zepbound allows you to do, is better for your health, regardless. And that is a net positive, in my opinion. However you get there, it's fantastic. People who shit on people for however they want to lose weight, whatever way they want to do it, it is a net positive to be, I'm not body shaming, but I'm saying to not be overweight is better for your body.
Both of us have weighed 100 pounds more than we weigh now. This documentary has made me realize that really anything can be an addiction.
And this guy's life sucks.
It does.
But he's walking through it with this bullshit smile on his face. He literally turned his life. He says, I had to remove my thought process.
Oh, he gave himself over to the algorithm.
He basically, this is probably not going to resonate with anybody in our audience, but I'm just going to make a quick Rick and Morty reference.
No, it does. Dude, so many people
there is an episode and shit. Yeah, there is an episode where they go to a heist convention, which is all about pulling off heists, and it's every heist trope ever. And there's this whole thing about like, oh, well, the computer's coming up with every foreseeable possibility, so we have to just do a bunch of crazy nonsense and random stuff in order to avoid everything. So they all just go off and do a bunch of random nonsense so that they can't predict what I'm gonna do. Like they turn to a computer that basically makes them go, you're gonna go do random stuff for no reason because it has to be chaos, it has to be nothing. This guy turned his life to a computer and said, whatever the computer tells me to do, I'm going to do.
Oh, and it got super dark because he said he went through a period of time where he was essentially like suicidal.
Yeah, dude.
And
but see, this is the thing. So
this is how he is functioning.
He's an LDS church member. He was for a long time.
Yeah.
He was like, I used to go to church and I'd come home and the crippling weight of, and it wasn't like of the church. It was of, I don't know, his life was this weight on top of him. It was clinical depression, but I feel like that church does not really acknowledge things like clinical depression. They just,
Yeah, I feel, and this is something
you're made to feel shameful about your feelings.
Well, there's a certain segment of people that have anxiety disorders. I've talked about this with my own therapist because I have this myself. I have religious trauma that is of no fault of my religious convictions. It's just how I have interpreted like religious doctrine that I have been taught over the years that I have hyper fixated on and things like that. So it's nobody was like beating it into me or anything like that.
She wasn't raised Catholic. So
no, I have,
that's how you learn.
I have OCD and I have hyper fixated on certain aspects of the religious doctrine that I was taught growing up, and it has caused me a great deal of anxiety over the years. I think that this guy, Bryan, I don't know his life story.
He's no longer a member of that church. But it
seems like he could have walked a similar journey, like learned about the teachings that the LDS Church espouses, maybe hyper fixated. That caused him a great deal of anxiety if he felt like he wasn't measuring up in some way.
Well, he would go home and he would cover himself in a blanket for hours.
Yeah,
for hours.
Oh my God, that broke my heart.
In his non-cyborg life that he's living right now, he was suffering from crippling clinical depression, as observed by me, not any other doctors, but that's what it looked like.
Any other doctors?
Yeah, any other doctors. I am a doctor.
Dr. Matt House.
I do dabble in various doctorings, but
can you get your doctorate online? Like you can become like a pastor.
I'll tell you what.
Like a wedding officiant.
I'll see if I can get a doctorate online, and by next week you will refer to me as such. But he's like, yeah, I would cover myself in a blanket and it would be painful to exist. And it was like the world was swallowing him, which to me sounds like clinical depression that you, instead of choosing, which you don't have, I'm saying, instead of finding someone to help you cope with that, you just lied in bed, which is sometimes all you can do. And he said his son would come and comfort him and sometimes rub his back for hours. Yeah. And it's like, that sucks. That sucks. Yeah. But instead of doing something like going to a therapist or discussing it even with your church, I feel like there are many options. I feel like it came down to he just basically ignored those feelings, moved away from the church, and then made a shit ton of money. And turns out money can buy a small amount of happiness, and then turned himself into a robot, basically.
Yeah.
Long and the short of it.
He just, and I think to him, he tells himself probably, I don't do drugs, I don't do alcohol, I don't do this, that, and the other. But like, what kind of life are you living? And he has people around him. And that's not to say that drugs and
alcohol are life requirements, but he's not doing anything. Those are the
typical things that you think of when you think of addiction. Right. You think of drugs and alcohol. So let's talk about some of these personal sacrifices and the impact that now this lifestyle has had on his relationships. He really only has a semi-healthy relationship with his son, and it's because they share like a love of working out, essentially.
No, I think the son, I don't know. Before we get to that, the son comes in and stays with him for let's just call it, I don't remember exactly how long, I think it was like 150 days before he went off to college. And the guy's name is Brian. No, this guy's Brian. The main guy.
Yeah, Talmadge is the son.
Talmadge is the son. Yeah. Brian's the dad, right?
Brian's the dad.
So Bryan the entire time he's with his son is sitting there being like, oh, I can't believe I only have... And for some reason, he developed a weird fucking accent. And he's not from outside of the country. He's American. His parents are American. But if you listen to Bryan, there is a very clear, weird accent that he developed.
I think that's what happens when you've earned over
a bunch of money. You just get slot yourself into an accent.
Yeah.
But so he's like... Oh, and I'm really sad, and it brings me great sadness to know that he's going to college in 150 days. He's basically going, I'm never gonna see him again, is the way he's talking about it. And I'm like, where's he going to college? The fucking moon? I'm like, you have $800 million.
Like when I went to college, I came home nearly
You went to college
weekend.
an hour away from your house. I went to college an hour away from my house. Like, even if you went to the other side of the country.
I mean, which is what my brother did. He came home a lot.
But like, he is just pissing and moaning about how my son's gonna go off to college, which is a fine thing to be like, oh, like if it's my kid's gonna go out of college, he's not gonna live with me anymore, like an empty nester thing. But it's not. His kid wasn't living with him prior to this. Like, it's very clear that he does not have a relationship with anyone but this son. He has more kids than this son. He has an ex-wife who she was blurred out of all the pictures, and so were the kids. So I feel that I have a real hefty dose of this son wanted dad to buy him all of his apartment furniture when he went to college, so he wanted to make amends with him for a little bit so that he can get that cash flowing in. Because he was not living with him. They weren't, like, I don't know the relationship status, but he wasn't living there. Then he was living there right before he went to college. And dad, dear old dad, is crying like if Penny or Anson, who will live with us probably well into their 50s, are gonna leave the house to go to college. Like, oh my gosh, they've been here and now they're going to leave.
One day, someone will sit here and talk about us and how toxic we are in a podcast. We will have then come full
Absolutely.
circle. Yeah.
But we will will this studio unto them, and they will will it. But it's like, you're acting like he has been in your home from the beginning. And he is not.
It seemed like they were reconnecting.
Right. And then you're like, oh God, I have 150 days with them. This is so crazy. I'm like, but then you're not going to visit him? And that's the other thing. I feel like his stupid algorithm that he gave his life over to does not account for those things. Oh, I can't go visit my son because I have to go outside while the UV quality is at a certain level because I can't put chemicals on my skin for sunscreen, but I can't have too much UV because that's bad for my skin. So I have to go to a certain UV profile. Then I have to put on my weight belts and walk backwards and frontwards by my pool.
And it'll be like, so one person could be, I smoke 3 packs a day and I never got lung cancer. Good for you. Another person could have literally never smoked a day in their life and they get lung cancer in their 20s. Like, how do these things happen? We don't know. We aren't a higher power, so we don't know. This guy is literally trying to essentially play God.
He's gene editing himself.
So I always like to say that God helps those who help themselves, and which is why we have modern medicine, and I love modern medicine. Big fan. But he has really taken that to the extreme.
Well, but there's a difference between modern medicine and experimental medicine.
Yeah, all this like gene therapy.
And not to discount gene therapy or stuff like that, because I believe gene therapy has provided some kind of benefits to people. But like, because they do it, there are like gene, but it's not like this. Like, I want to live forever. It's like, I don't want to have lupus anymore.
Right. Like I'm a big fan of like stem cell research when we're trying to figure out Parkinson's, ALS. We're trying to find cures for these horrible diseases. Not this guy wants to look 25 even though he's in his 50s.
And here's the thing about living forever. As much as I would love to live for an enormous amount of time, if I were able to keep my mobility, I would love to. But Neil deGrasse Tyson said something that resonated with me one time. I'm a big fan of his. He said, they said, would you live forever if you could live forever? Or like, if there was no, what would you do? And he's like, I don't think I would ever want to live forever because the finality, the finiteness of life, the small blip that you have is the only reason it's worth living in the first place.
Boom.
If
I
you
love that.
if you have not, like, you can live 10 billion years, therefore everything you do is inconsequential. Like, oh, I fucked up. Shit, I burned a city to the ground. I guess I'll just go move on in 100 years. Like,
right.
So if there's no end, what was the point? And granted, nobody wants to die, and I don't want to die.
Right.
But like, what's the point of just existing in perpetuity? Where's the gravity of anything you do?
And I think the name of this documentary was a little bit of a misnomer because, like, I don't know, or maybe I missed the part where this guy was seeking immortality. He just wanted to age very, 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 very slowly.
No, he said
really?
He said as much as he wants to turn off aging. That it's
Okay.
He's going to find a way to stop. He considers aging a disease.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
So one,
time.
like, for an example, something I hyper fixated on when I was a child, one of my, like, youth directors at the church I went to told us, I was in elementary school, that from the minute you're born, you're dying. And that...
What a shitty thing to say to kids.
Well, it's true. But it's
like,
yeah.
That is, what do you say?
Probably to most kids that were sitting in the room with me, they probably don't even remember that. But for me, I was like, oh my God, I am dying. I am literally dying. And tomorrow I'm dying more than I was dying yesterday. Oh my God.
It's a bit of an oversimplification, we'll call it.
Right.
My friend used to say, I had some good, smart, nerdy friends when I was growing up, and we'd always have these conversations about what ifs and what fors, and he would be like, what if oxygen is poison? It just slowly kills you over 90 years. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, it's nobody that's ever breathed has lived forever, silly things like that. And those are the kind of things that wacky people take and they go, what if that's the reason? And then they do dumb things like try to live forever, Well,
let me ask you a question.
Shoot.
Because there's all these ethical and societal questions, because I mean, bully on this rich asshole who can afford to, like, fuck around with his genetics. So cool. Good on you, bro. Is it right for one person to spend millions annually on personal longevity when those resources could address broader public health needs or social inequalities? It's reported that this guy spends over $2 million a year on his regimen, which is obviously inaccessible for most people.
It's a dangerous place to go telling other people how they should spend their money.
Yes. Usually I 100% agree that people can, if people have fuck you money and they want to spend it on dumb ass shit, that is their money to spend it on. But, like, also at the same time, he's not sitting there spending all this money and then just, like, living his life. He's trying to...
Well, to him, he is living his life.
No, but he's trying to prophesy to other people.
I think he's trying to profit.
And gather a following. So he's trying to get people to live the way he lives, but the way he lives is very expensive.
For now, until he...
I mean, I don't know if there's a Walmart version of some of that EVOO that he's...
but...
Could I get that great value EVOO and still live to be 300 years old?
What you haven't seen yet is when he finishes his journey. Oh, look, I did it. And here's the results from my highly paid company that did the zero blind study on my body. I have made it affordable for you. Here are the supplements that you need to take 200 of a day, and they only cost $40 a bottle, and it's sugar pills. You know what I mean? Like, he's gonna come back and be like, oh yeah, yep, I did it. And it turns out every doctor on earth, outside of America, of course, and anywhere with any kind of medical backgrounds of any consequence, says that this all works. And guess what? It wasn't affordable. And I spent a whole lot of money telling you guys how expensive it was. I did a documentary showing how much of my money I spent on it. But now my altruistic side's going to take over. And I have made it affordable. I have funded and found a way to take what I've done for this.
But has Big Pharma really ever taken anything? I mean, how many people in the world are living with diabetes? And has anyone taken insulin and made it affordable?
No, in fact, people have done exactly the opposite of that, which is fucked up.
Exactly.
But in regards to, what are the plans? His plans are to come up with his bullshit story, come up with his bullshit rise to perfect human. I am the fucking whatever they call the guy in Leonardo da Vinci's poster where his arms are all over the place.
What?
You know the guy, the Vitruvian Man. It's okay. We'll look it up later.
Okay.
Put it right here, right there.
What else?
Vitruvian Man.
What else am I supposed to insert?
Bullshit. Bullshit. But after he does all this stuff, he's going to sell you. No, sorry, he won't. Blueprint is going to sell you because he would never.
Did he acquire Blueprint?
We don't know that, but it wouldn't surprise me if he is a heavy investor.
Okay.
And all you have to do is invest enough to own 51% of a corporation to own it. So it is whatever it is. But again, I just think that this is all one big old fucking fleece. And it wouldn't surprise me if all the shit that he is doing in this documentary, if half of it is theater. Like, I think it was Man in the Moon, Andy Kaufman. They had some of that nonsense where the lay on hands people were trying to heal him.
Yeah.
And he realized, because he was a bullshit artist, he realized that they were faking what they were doing. And he's like, oh, I am going to die. There really is no way to heal me with what I got.
Yeah. Let's talk some of the criticisms and controversies. So one is the fears of cult-like followings and influence. Commenters have expressed concern that Bryan Johnson's highly publicized and my note is charismatic pursuit. I don't really find him charismatic.
I find him off-putting.
The fear is this could inspire a cult-like following. He is, for all intents and purposes, an influencer. He has an appeal to those desperate to escape aging, and that may lead to people to buy into his philosophies of unproven treatments, potentially leading them astray or exposing them to harm. Did you watch that Mother God documentary where they were selling what was it, colloidal silver?
Yep.
It's
not good for you.
Yeah. And then there's obviously the dangers of self-experimentation. There's a strong concern that Johnson's influence combined with the documentary I hate words. With the documentary's lack of critical scrutiny could promote unsafe or unproven longevity treatments to a wide audience. So and this is a fear that I have had because I've made several videos about my weight loss journey. And I always say multiple times, and I will be coming out with a video about all the surgeries that I've had. Always consult your doctor because everyone's body is...
talk to your doctor.
Yeah, everyone's body is different. Everyone's body reacts to medications differently. So it really is a personal conversation that you should have with your doctor. Don't just go start taking 91 pills for breakfast every day.
Oh, I'll point out something, though. Mm-hmm. If you watch this documentary and decide that this is the lifestyle for you, seek help. Because there was nothing in watching this that made me say, oh my gosh, he's really got the keys to the kingdom. You know, this guy really knows what he's talking about.
The thing is, and maybe this is just, we all, I think, go through periods of like having an existential crisis where it's like, oh my God, why am I here? What am I here for? How long will I be here for?
I have that every night before
like,
I go to
I don't
sleep.
want to die, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't want to die.
Mine's how I don't do enough for the kids.
Well, that's because you're a good dad. But it's, here's the thing. Everybody's going to die. I don't think you need to tell a room full of like 6-year-olds that, like I was. But everybody is going to die one day. And it's the quality of your life. Are you doing things that you love to do? Are you doing things that you enjoy? Are you feeling what's that saying? Like, what's between your dash or whatever? Like on a tombstone, they put like your birthday and the day you die, and it's what you do with that dash that matters. And
That's
it's
philosophical.
Yeah, and it's, it's like that is what matters. And what I see in Bryan Johnson is his quality. He does not have a quality of life, and he's looking to extend that for as long as possible.
Like if I could play my video games and go to the beach and fuck around and have a good time. Sure.
Working out, doctor recommend.
I like working. I don't do it as much with the kids, but I do. I really enjoy working out. All of the
things he does in moderation, not bad. There are probably several. I mean, I take several health supplements. That in and of itself is not bad. Wanting to be healthy is not bad. Doing cosmetic procedures, in my opinion, to defend myself is not bad. So if he wants to do hair plugs, whatever, bully on ya. But it's the culmination of the hours of his day, his entire focus. And he has that luxury because of how successful he has been in business. He has that luxury to be able to do that. But it's the fact that it is all consuming. It is in his entire day. He cannot have functioning relationships with family members. He has lost his connection to his religious organization. Whether or not that's for the best, I don't know. But in a lot of ways, this obsession, this addiction has ruined his life, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I call bullshit on this whole thing. I feel like he made a lot of money. He wants to make a lot more money.
I mean, we saw home videos before of him, like
totally
with his kids on holidays and stuff like that. And now he lives a very solitary lifestyle. He can't go outside if the UV index isn't exactly right.
Yeah, but lean into this one for a minute. Imagine you're trying to come up with a bullshit reason to make a buttload more money off of susceptible morons who want to buy your forever lifestyle, which he's already making money off of this, and he hasn't even finished this project, right? What's the best way to get all eyes on you? I'm an eccentric, every single article, eccentric millionaire spends blah, 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 trying to live forever. Every single one.
What was that vampire show we watched with the dad from Jumanji was like trying to live forever?
What?
The Strakoi or whatever.
Oh, The Strain.
Yeah.
The Strain.
That was, yeah.
But every single article is eccentric millionaire. And when someone says eccentric millionaire, us, the huddled masses, love to see eccentric millionaires doing stupid shit, right? So then all eyes are now on this guy. Oh, wow. Oh, look, he's so stupid. Oh, I can't believe he's doing that. Oh, that's so silly. And you watch it and you see it and you see little bits and boobs about it. And then slowly, more susceptible people start thinking this might be something that's worth looking into. So you spend a couple years being eccentric millionaire does nonsense until it turns out eccentric millionaire cheated death. Here's how. And it'll only cost you X amount. It's going to be a slightly paywalled amount. So it will be $200 a month. Enough for not everybody, but just enough people to buy it.
What I also loved is clearly this, I mean, I'm assuming he's getting routine scans, routine MRIs to check for things
radiation
like tumor.
all day.
Yeah. So but then someone asks him like, and what's to say you don't step outside and like get hit by a bus or something?
Well, the
and
algorithm.
It's like, you can be doing all these things to make sure you don't die of natural causes, but you could be a victim of a horrible tragedy.
I'm just saying, wait for it to come out. Give it a year, maybe 5.
Nothing is guaranteed in life. So again, it's what we do with that dash.
And I'm a big supporter of do your own shit, live your life however you want. If you want to be limited to that fucking life, go for it.
Unlimited.
No.
Wicked Part 2 comes out in November.
I don't want to hear it. Put it away.
That'll probably get
Put it away.
It probably won't get copyright
10 seconds
claimed.
is what you get. 10 seconds.
But it's nowhere near the right note.
But I don't know. Give it a couple. I'm telling you, it's going to come out. This guy is a scam artist. And he is trying to...
There's definitely an MLM forming
He is personified eccentric billionaire. And that's all. And that's why HBO did a documentary on him. You know, that's what... Right, it was HBO? Who did this documentary?
Netflix.
Yeah. That's why Netflix was interested in him. You know what I mean? Like, it just takes enough eyes on you to get susceptible people to spend their money.
So funny is when this opened up and it all of a sudden says like Los Angeles, California. I'm like, fuck. Of
course it's fucking Los Angeles.
And of course it's fucking
Where
Los
else
Angeles.
would it be?
Yeah.
People lose their minds. But... You know, I don't believe this guy. I don't believe in this guy. And I think that he is pulling the... I hope to God no one is really following him, like thinking that he is this Messiah.
And of course, if you... like, in general, what he is espousing to get healthy, I don't think that that's a bad idea. But go through your doctor... All this experimental gene therapy, taking all these pills. Honestly, some pills, it's like you take one pill because you're having a side effect from some other pill that you're taking. So it's like, how does this guy know if he's like, I mean, I can't imagine that taking all of those supplements aren't having some kind of, he's not having some kind of side effects from all of that.
This
I don't know.
doesn't seem genuine at all. You know, I take 90 pills a day, right? And no liver problems, jamming that much supplements in your body.
And they eat like pure vegan.
Yeah, no kidney problems from all that extra. If you ingest 5,000 billion milligrams of vitamin anything, it's harsh on your kidneys. Then he gets MRIs. He gets ultrasounds. All of that is radiation in small doses, but he gets it fucking weekly. That is enough radiation to cause damage to your body. So again, are you trying to live forever or are you actually putting on a show? Because
I think he
would know that radiation is bad for him and that stuff is not good to have on that much off.
I deal with this in therapy weekly. With
this guy?
With being okay living with uncertainty. And that is extremely hard for me. A therapeutic tool for treating OCD is exposure response prevention. And it's this whole idea of maybe not. This has been my lifelong struggle of living in the maybe. Like, I need it to be. I need certainty. I see that in this guy too. And he has taken it to a whole other level, and because he has the money that he can do it. The sad thing is it's not just that he's spending all this money, because that would be one thing, but it's costing him his relationships with his family members. It doesn't seem like he can really hold down a romantic relationship.
He said that his lifestyle takes the number one. And he said they asked him about romantic stuff, and he's like, yeah, I try to date somebody, or I date,
So, I will tell you,
my lifestyle takes precedence, and if they can't deal with that, they're gonna have to get out of the way. That's fine for him. That's fine. Yeah. Go for it.
My mental illness, my OCD, absolutely affected in the past my ability to have a functioning relationship. And I talk all the time about the fact that our relationship, the way we communicate, the way you understand me, it works. And that I'm so grateful for that. I wish that for this guy too, that he finds a partner that can understand him, that doesn't enable him, because it's a fine line.
That's not what he wants.
Yeah,
and
I don't know.
Again, you know what? His relationships are crumbling around him. He does not care.
These are things I work very hard in therapy. One, not putting too much on you, and not modeling unhealthy habits for our kids. Those are two things that I constantly think about, and that I constantly am talking to my therapist about, because I want to model healthy behaviors for them. And I guess I wish that there was someone in this guy's life that would say, hey man, maybe invest some money in a mental health clinic or something.
One
I don't know.
Things that I think holds true, and you'll see this, as I think Stern said this on a show I was listening to recently, is like, people who are really good at one thing, right? Like, this guy made his nut on this program that he made. Like, he made it. He sold it, made a shit ton of money of it, right?
Yeah.
People who are really good at one thing think that everything they do is fucking golden. Aaron Rodgers was really good at football. And then you listen to the guy speak, and you hear his crazy opinions, in my opinion, his weird anti-vax stuff and all the other nonsense. And then he goes around just touting all kinds of weird stuff. But because he was a good football player, people listen to him. Or do they?
The guy who invented that McAfee virus scanner, some weird shit happened with him. I think he died in a jungle somewhere or something that. I don't know.
You think because you're so good at tossing a ball or writing a program that, hey, listen to some of these stupid, these are young basketball players, fresh in the NBA, and they're really good at basketball. But I forget who the guy was, but he's a fucking flat earther, and he goes around the way that he talks about it with you're an idiot for believing the earth is round. And I'm like, this is a dumb fucking idiot who's been enabled his whole life because he was good at playing fucking basketball, that now everything he does, and if you don't agree with it, well, I'm rich and famous, so obviously I'm fucking smarter than you.
I'm fine being the stupidest person in a room.
I mean, it's hard for me to be the stupidest person in the room.
Oh, I'm fine with that. People can think, I share my opinions, and if people agree with them, great. If you don't, great. And if you think I mispronounce things, I use the wrong words, people tell me, you guys all know. You guys tell me in the comments all the time, Sarah, that's not. What the other day I was saying tripe was a type of fish. People were like, girl, tripe is
sheep stomach.
Yeah. So it's stomach lining. And I'm like,
it's like haggis.
Yeah. So
no, but it's that, and it bothers me because celebrities get this gravitas to all they do, and then people they have followers who will just become them because they have no identities, so they become them. And I'm shaming those people where you can't separate you from someone that you're idolizing, because that's a problem. But when you have the wealth and power, and these kind of things happen. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna show the world how amazing my life is, and I'm right and everyone's wrong. Like, you know, and then you're gonna surround yourself with yes men and women, and you're never gonna be wrong because you're paying people to tell you that you're right. Do you notice we never saw one like American doctor that he goes to? Like, he has to go to like El Salvador to get a dude to do these blood transfusions. That's not where he goes, but like he's going outside the country, probably paying ridiculous amounts of money to people who will probably be like, well, yeah, if you pay me $1 million, I'll say that all your shit is golden, you know?
Yeah. And one thing that I've learned, especially with, just doing GLP-1 medications, is you have to make sure like your entire medical team is on the same page. So if this guy is like flying around to all these countries getting different treatments, there is no way that his medical team knows everything that he has done everywhere else, and they could prescribe him something or suggest a treatment that might be actually detrimental to him, and the doctor is doing something in good faith because maybe Bryan Johnson is
that's international.
Yeah, right, exactly. And which is why, like, for our daughter who has a rare condition, I take her into all of her doctors are in the same health network so they can see what all of the other specialists are doing.
Yeah. Say what you will about our shitty insurance system and our could be better healthcare system. At least they all kind of talk to each other if you go through the right channels.
It takes oh my God. That could be a song for another day. It takes a long time to figure out insurance for rare conditions. I mean, people know. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, I hope you never know, because it's not something I would wish on anyone. Nope. But anyways, Bryan Johnson, my take, he is making his life unnecessarily difficult. And doesn't really have a quality of life, and it's sad.
Pay
sad to
no
see.
attention to the man behind the curtain, my dear, because I don't believe any of this shit is genuine. I feel his pre-success millionaire story is legit, but it is being used to sell a bill of goods because he's already... What reason would you have to sell fucking expensive olive oil? If you're like that alone, why are you doing... And it's not hair plugs. He's doing a fucking infrared hair regrowth system. It's a wild thing, which again, probably not something you should have on your head for thing. Why are you doing vain things if you don't care about that?
And that was the moment where I was like, all right, this isn't just about health, because like I said, I think he actually looked... He looks
normal.
He looks quite different now. He doesn't just look older, in my opinion, and I think he does look older.
I think there might be some plastic up in those spots.
Well, I think, I mean, being someone who has had a neck lift myself, game spots game, but or game recognizes game.
Is his ear still on the side of his head?
Oh my God, you guys. Okay, we need to wrap this up, but real quick. It is so odd. Your nerves do nervy things when you get sliced and diced. And I was convinced that my ear was like dangling off my face. I've already had 2 or 3 post-op appointments, and each time I'm like, is my ear good? And they're like, yeah, girl, it's good. Because I don't know, my nerves just have not like reconnected. But
that's when she'd come into a room and I'd be like, how many ears did you have?
Now my mom and
how many ears did you have before you left the room? Because
my mom's like, oh, your ear's like down here now, and I'm like, oh my God. But it's coming. The sensation is coming back. It just takes
This guy's wacky, and just wait, it's gonna come out. It's gonna come out all of a sudden. He's gonna have
Brola Row is gonna
it's gonna be
thing,
like
an
Athletic
MLM.
Greens or something like that. He's gonna come out with his own supplement line.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
then in that there's gonna be the Weight Watcher-esque style program of what you should and shouldn't eat, and you have to follow it. There's a monthly fee, and then after that, here's my exercise program that you need to buy, my fitness dummy or my my punching bag, and you have to use that program and watch the videos. My personal treadmill that I'm releasing that's very inexpensive. Oh, you know, everything's financeable, blah, blah, blah. It's just all because
I'll buy it. It'll sit in our garage.
it's just, I'm sorry, it's smoke and mirrors. This guy's a scummy man. I don't
He's like the
him.
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, did you not get my pay no attention to the man behind the curtain?
It is.
That's why I said it. You don't have to reference the reference.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, Hillary Swank from $1 Million Baby.
You know, the gummy.
That was two
Movie references.
Pitch Perfect references in this. I made
You
two.
should listen
One was I was gonna say one was subtle. I was hoping they'd get it, but you just gave it away. Gave away the fun.
You should listen to your doctor.
Two Pitch Perfect references.
All right, you guys. Don't die.
That's all we got for you today. That documentary is wacky, do fucking bananas, but have fun. Do not follow that man.
Stay healthy, though.
Do not be lemmings. Do not run off the cliff. By the way, that study was disproven. They were pushed off the cliff by the scientists that were filming them to see if they would fall off the cliff. Look it up, lemmings. Anyways, follow us on all the social medias. Do mostly no harm. Head on over to www.level42studios.com where you can find our whole body of work, multiple shows. You can go to the contact page to submit a question, comment, or concern for us to address at a later show. I still have a backlog of three topics to get to. I'm working on it. Do not worry. We will get to them all. I promise.
Man in Winnipeg, stay sexy. We're coming for you.
I saw the preview for it. We watched it on new YouTube because it's fucking region locked. I don't know what.
Yeah, we will.
That is the dumbest thing. Oh, you can't watch that.
Go to Canada.
You can't watch that unless you're in Canada. Why? Like, why can I watch Game of Thrones everywhere on the planet except for probably any?
Do not deny us the sexiest man in Winnipeg.
And then you see, why would a documentary of even stated by the person who asked us to do it is not a massive documentary? Why that documentary is region locked and unable to be watched? Wouldn't you want as many eyes on this as possible?
I just want to watch it so much more.
Well, I got it. I just got to get a Vipin.
We'll get a Vipin.
Anyways, we got to go.
Right.
We got kids to make sure they are still asleep, have to move on, got to update, got to edit, got to keep going, got to live, people. Got to go. As always,
do mostly
no harm. Good day.
Bye, guys.
I said good day.